like someone who came here temporary, make some money and get back to the country.
Oh my God, I'm so minted and the rest of Ireland.
Truth will prevail, and the Irish people have always had truth on their side.
We are fighting for our very survival.
Last year, you got a call from Wicklow County Council that changed your life. Yes.
So when I tell you, Mick, Tick, that you're being filled full of shit.
Told you a fact. This is this guy here. What are you doing, boys? Here, you fucking scumbag, you.
Yeah, nobody has any loose change even. We're not allowed to exchange money.
I know there's no Dracula.
We do not win this if we do not join together with the people of Northern Ireland.
I'm not voting for anyone who's in at the moment. 100%. No one who's in at the moment is getting my vote. Absolutely not, because what's happening here is shocking. So this is something about me. If you see me out at a demonstration and the one in the Garden of Remembrance, and that woman started singing the national anthem, I put shades on. I put shades on really quick because I'm welling up. The national anthem, Oro Shidavahawalia, these songs just bring something out in me that is, I don't know what you'd call it. I don't know what the emotion is. Sadness mixed with a love of the country. I don't know what to call it. I can't, as a psychotherapist, I should be able to name this, but I can't name the feeling. It's sadness because it brings tears to my eyes, but it's a longing for a better Ireland. That's a longing, that's a feeling. It's a longing for a better Ireland and a great feeling of loss for what we're losing in this country. It's a great feeling of loss, and that how soon will anyone know the words of our Unraveling? How soon will anyone know what Oro Shidavahawalia means? Or be able to get a group of us sing along to a Shane MacGowan song, be he English or Irish. You know, when will that time come? What a loss that'll be. How are you? Agus Fáilte go baile Claire. Welcome to Dublin. Are you one of these people, right, who, if someone's taking your photograph, and they tell you to smile, that you can just smile? I can't do that. If I'm smiling for a photo, even a professional one, if I'm asked to smile, I can't do it. I can only smile if I feel like it. And I've had guys, professional photographers, and they've done stuff like throw footballs at me by surprise, so I'd go, whoa, and try and catch me smiling. I will not smile. Now, what I find very funny is, I'm looking at all the photos that are riddled up and down this road of all these politicians who are all smiling away. Some of them, it seems, quite funnily, aren't showing their teeth. They're not smiling. One of them looks a bit tough. The rest of them, you know, have these big teethy smiles. Some of them really shouldn't be showing their teeth, or else it should be video editing them, because you can edit your teeth to look nice and white. They're not doing it. But anyway, so I'm looking at all these faces on these ridiculous posters riddled up and down the street. Here's what I think. First of all, what a smile they have. They're such smug. You wonder what's making them smile, right? You get a smile because you're happy, unless you're just an actor, which most of them are. So what are they smiling about? And this is the only conclusion I can come to. That when they have to smile, they just think about the luxury cruises, the yachts they're going to be getting, the mansions they're going to be getting, backhanders from Brussels, etc., etc. They're just going, oh my God, I'm so minted, and fuck the rest of Ireland. Because we're not smiling. We're not smiling at the Carry On. We are certainly not smiling. However, here's the thing I noticed, right? I used to think, I kind of think we have a bit of a distrust for young politicians, because you kind of think he'd be eaten in Brussels. He would be eaten, or she would be eaten. what if they got to, you know, I kind of look at them in terms of hardness, how tough they look. But who's in at the moment, they certainly don't look tough to me. They certainly don't look tough to me.
Top issues, mass immigration, housing, this is dominating this election. People are sick and tired, and people aren't, they're not stupid. Politicians and talking heads are bringing the average person along for a wild ride by telling them, oh, well, we just need to fix this and we need to fix this, instead of focusing on the priority, which is mass immigration. It's putting effect on all our infrastructure, our environment, our identity. Not only that, it's the cause for the HSE waiting list to be so high.
Right, so I'm just going to quickly interrupt this guy. I'll get back to him in a second to mention two things. As you mentioned, the Public Health Service. As you know, I'm just out of a few weeks there. I've got plenty of experience with the public health system at the moment. It is, I'd rather be in the hospital in a different country. It's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. So in the hospital, as I said, this was told to me on a few occasions by Filipinos and by Indians, Jai Hind, Miradosti, which is the same as Aaron Gabra, Makara in Hindi. So the situation with the ambulances, this is what I was told in the hospital. Didn't ask a question, this was told conversationally, that asylum seekers in certain camps, right, there's a time when they have to be back in, right? So what a lot are doing, and it's struggling, this is going to cause saying this, because of the struggles with my sister getting an ambulance, this is what's happening. Guys in these camps are ringing up an ambulance, sometimes just for the crack, to get a lift into town, right? This is what I'm told. Allegedly, this happens, allegedly, right? To get into town. Other times, because of the time limit when they have to get in, what they can do is they'll say they're sick, ring the hospital, get an ambulance in and get a bed. Then they can get out, spend a few days, go partying, do whatever they want to do, and they're not back at the hostel. It's just, or not the hostel, where they're like the settlements, we'll call them, the replacement camps. They don't have to be back then at a specific time because they're thought to be in hospital when they're not in hospital at all. They get into the bed, a mate comes in, and then they just leave the hospital bed, right? So it's an act. So that is causing a struggle to the health system, 100%. And I didn't just hear this from one person, and I think that's pretty shocking. Thing number two I found out, and I spoke to nurses day and night from every nationality, right? And I heard allegedly this happens. There are certain countries training nurses, right? 80%, 20% are Irish in where I was, right? So what's happening in a certain country is when people are going for, I'll get in terrible trouble over this, when people are going for their nursing qualifications, right? They're sat in the middle of this, the whole village is at the window, full of nurses and that, just shouting answers through them through a window. And, you know, so they are arriving here massively underqualified, but they've spent time in the health. I think you need to have spent 3 months in the healthcare, correct me on this, you have to have spent 3 months in the healthcare system in a certain country that I'm thinking about before you can get a job with a HSE or as a carer over here, as far as I know, right? But this is what's happening. Villagers coming in, other nurses are coming in, leaning through the windows. It's all very haphazard and very relaxed, and they're shouting answers through the window. The guy who's watching over them goes out for a smoke. People are swapping places. Someone else is finishing the paper who's outside, who's already a qualified nurse. This is what's happening, allegedly.
It's the cause for the social housing waiting list to be a disaster. It's a nightmare. And all these politicians, these elected officials, and this fake, faux opposition, they're the ones to blame. They're the ones to blame. They're number one to blame here. We need to hold them accountable for what's going on in this country.
But I think we tend to gauge them in terms of, you know, they're new. How good could they be? Could they be easily, you know, I think this is it in a nutshell. I wonder how easily they could be, you know, someone who comes from a working class area, who's being voted, who's up for vote, gets offered a yacht. Suddenly, they've never had money in their life, they've been on the dole or whatever, and how quickly they'll change. But we have to stop thinking like that. We have to stop thinking like that, because then no one gets a chance. There's one guy, I'll tell you, I have to mention this. I pasted his name up because I can't think who it was, but this guy I trusted. I trusted Varadkar at first, really trusted Varadkar because he had a good actor face. He fooled me, right? But the guy out in Coolock, who, there was another YouTuber there, was a friend of mine, he went out, he recorded him because he didn't want to be in the throng, we'll call it, the sort of the riots as it would be called, the poor defenseless Riot Squad defending themselves against the masses of children. So he went offside and he captured a video, and someone else caught it as well, of a guy who's running, don't know what his name is, posted up there, and he confronted the full Riot Squad on his own, got pepper sprayed, landed on the ground, was shoved around the place. I'll post it up here. I don't know if it's copyrighted. If it's not, I'll post it up here. Don't know who he is, but something in that he did something. It wasn't when there was thousands, there was no one there. There was no one there. 2 people caught it on video. And that made me kind of think, this guy is genuine. This guy has got something. I'm not plugging him, don't know who he is, don't know who he stands for, but I just thought for someone to go and on his own, there was no one there, my YouTuber friend way up the way and someone else caught it on camera. But it wasn't in the throng, there wasn't millions of people there. That's pretty trustworthy in my book.
What were we given? Nothing. We were told nothing. It's the same in court and Hull. That's on a plant that, and it's going to get flashes and go there for the paycheck. You say? Should be ashamed yourself. That fucking part. Someone like me, I have a love and a loyalty to this country. I wanted to join the game. I had that motivation in me. I wanted to join the end. I had that motivation in me to protect and save. No! The battlements will continue until the plantation is complete. We've already done it once before. The British Empire, 800 years we stood up against them in defiant forced plantation, genocided from our own villages, scattered to the 4 corners of the earth.
Your pay. Hey, Paddy. You alright?
Makes no difference.
You alright, man?
Makes no difference. Because in the end, truth will prevail. And the Irish people have always had truth on their side. Yeah, because as Pierce said, don't fight with small battalions.
So who do I trust? I look at faces, do you know what I mean? Now I'm just after walking by another guy who's pretty young. I'm not telling you who to vote for, not yet, and or who I'm voting for. But this guy is Peter O'Toole, I think his name. Peter Dooley. Took a photo of him. I watch him on YouTube. Just think he's a nice guy, do you know? And I'm going to start voting for the people I think are just nice guys. You know, it's kind of. He walks up and down Kimmage, he's a nice guy. I don't think he'd be easily influenced. And I think that's who I'm going to start voting for. Not a million people with all these, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, anger. And all these arseholes that we have in who tell us that we're marching forward together, blah, 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 blah. I'm not voting for any of them, that's for sure. So I think I go mainly for, I'm going to have to get over this thing about not trusting people who I think will be bullied by Brussels. I'm going to have to get over this thing about people who haven't got the experience yet because they'll get the experience. They don't need it from these people who are in already. They'll figure that out themselves. As a nation, we'll change together. We'll learn together. There'll be mistakes made. But at the end of the day, oh, there's a little bird there. I don't know what it is. At the end of the day, we'll learn together. They'll learn, we'll learn, like mistakes will be made. But I think it's worth, I'm not voting for anyone who's in at the moment. 100%. No one who's in at the moment is getting my vote. Absolutely not, because what's happening here is shocking. It's a disgrace. The city is disgusting. As the YouTuber Spanian said recently when he visited, he's been to ghettos all around the world. He came here and he just went, yuck. Has it always been like this? Why do people come to it? And, you know, he was right. No, he was on Talbot Street. He wasn't in a particularly nice, I won't say nice, he wasn't in the most refined area of Dublin. But Spanian said it was yuck. Why would anyone visit? Has it always been like this, etc., etc., etc. Christmas List came, he liked it here. Wendell came, he liked it here. So I've got a few YouTubers do really like it.
You came to us tonight from a homeless hub.
Yeah.
You've been there since last June, is that right?
Yeah.
You're there and you have your 4-year-old son with you and he has complex medical needs.
Yeah.
Can you just very quickly tell us, how did you end up there in this situation?
So I was private renting a property for $2,700 a month, and issues came across with my little boy's crash, so I left my job and I just couldn't sustain the rent and I had to declare myself homeless.
So the hub, you've been in the hub since then?
Yeah.
How are you finding it there?
Very hard.
Last year, you got a call from Wicklow County Council that changed your life.
Yes. I received a letter very unexpectedly, basically saying that I was being nominated for housing if I was interested, which absolutely. And I was put forward and I was accepted by the cooperative housing, and we've been in our forever home since.
So what I'm going to get on to is, once more I'm going to get there, I'm going to address that. I've just been with my Algerian barber. Nice haircut there, right? Nice haircut. Just been with my Algerian barber. I'm going to address, I can't help it, but I'm going to kind of just stick this up to the people calling me racist, fascist, xenophobe, you fucking hate everyone. I don't hate anyone. Here's a couple of photographs for you. I worked in India, I've told you that. And they go, oh, says he works in India, doesn't mean he's not racist. Says he lived with that, his friends are from here, that and the other, doesn't mean... Buddy. I know me. Do you know you? Do you know how you'll change in time? Do you know how you'll change in time? Because I didn't think this the way I think when I was in my 40s. And just so we're clear, I'm very, very, very young at the moment. Very young. Anyway, in my 40s, my thoughts were completely different to now. My 20s are completely different. When I was a teenager, I was anti-everything, anarchy in the... who needs government? Let's live on wheat. You know, it changed in time. You'll change in time too, whoever you are, you know, whatever way you're leaning, unless you're an NGO, unless you are completely profiting from the whole decay of this city, you'll find... Tell me I'm wrong, but I think your view will change in time.
Bob Trotter, this is one that's for you. They call me Pat, they call me Mick, they call me Paddy, they call me Tick. That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. They call me Mikey. They call me Pikey. Do what you like. It's not my name. It's not my name. It's not my name. What is my name?
Deputy, very briefly, would it be possible to get Sin Fein's position on whether or not the immigration rate into Ireland is currently too high?
We're finished. Okay?
We're finished. Okay, I mean,
you need to
no
come
harm
on
chancing your arm.
We're finished.
First of all, as you know, and as everybody knows, anybody in the world is entitled virtually to go anywhere else in the world and seek international protection. The key here is how that is dealt with in the state in which people arrive. And what we know for sure is that the current system applied by the Irish government is haphazard, it has been chaotic, and it has led to huge frustration and anger within some local communities. That's not the fault, by the way, of those seeking international protection. That's the fault of successive Irish governments. I want to just touch on how those people are actually accommodated and how that's dealt with and the problems that arise, and it's following on from Paul's question. If I or anyone else own a property on a main street of a town or village of this country, and I want to turn that into a profit-making premises, if I try to open up a coffee shop or a hotel or any other form of commercial business, I will meet obstacle after obstacle by the agencies of the state. But if I want to actually turn that into an accommodation centre, I will make a quite large amount of money and a lucrative contract, and that is unfair, because also if I decide to take the latter option, I will not have to engage with the local community at all in a way that I would for all the other things. So these things need to change. This isn't about pitting one set of people against another, it's about actually applying a common sense, practical set of measures that ensure that everybody can have confidence that the system operates fairly and effectively.
So the immigration rate isn't too high, but the way it's being handled is ineffective. Would that be the party's position?
That's the issue, yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
He's a fascist cunt, is he? He just called you a fascist cunt, he has. Just called you a fascist cunt. This is this guy here. What are you doing, boys?
Who are you filming?
Here, what the fuck? Here, you fucking scumbag, you.
So for the 22%, which is what I call the people who watch to the end, which is a good average view, 22%, because a lot of people turn on and go, he's a bleeding alpha. So for the 22%ers, nice one, memberships, etc. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the interactions, the comments. I love us. I answer them all, as many as I can. I most certainly read them all. So to the 22%ers, thank you for watching to the end. The poem that follows is another thing that has moved me greatly. I watched it last night. A fella put it on one of my homeless videos. I kind of watched it, and it gave me the same sort of. It's just amazing. It just gave me that same as Iran of it. I just got this. It's really dark, It's a dark poem. It's a dark background. I think it's Bowron playing, but I think it's quite amazing. It's a beautiful piece of work that I know that I'll be sharing in the future. But you can hear me. You can hear my voice. I choke up thinking about these things. So anyway, thanks for everything. Please check you're still subscribed. As I always say, do a comment of just one dot to keep you locked into the algorithm. And I will respond with a dot, and we'll become the dot people. I'm very glad to have you along. I love doing this. I finished all the demonetization of my channel now. There's no money being made from it. Does it bother me? No, not in the slightest. I'm not doing this for money, and I don't give a shit about it. Do you know what I mean? I do things for the homeless. That's fine. Yeah, I get a few buy me coffees. That's fine. I don't need to make. I might read it if I get to 100,000 subs. I might monetize it, but at the moment it's just a pain in the arse. It's just, So thanks for watching. Slán and Ish, and thanks for coming to view the channel again. You're very much appreciated. Aaron Gabrach.
Paddy in the doorway, Paddy in the field. Paddy cold and broken as the blackbird flaps its wings. Paddy is excluded, Paddy is dismissed, Paddy is precluded as the blackbird fluffs its nest. Paddy struggles hopeless, forage day to day, daunted by his circumstance where the blackbirds prance and play. Paddy dares not provoke duplicity perceived, for he dreads the angry squawking flocks of blackbird caws and shrieks. The blackbirds prosper easy as they flourish with their chicks, while Paddy has no home abode to live life with his kids. Paddy's bread is eaten, forgotten oh so soon, for the vain labours of Paddy are the efforts of a fool. Paddy in the doorway, Paddy in the field, destitute and wanting, as the blackbirds dance and sing.